All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're digging into a super clear, super actionable guide from Tajamul Khan. Our mission is simple, to lay out a complete roadmap for anyone who wants to become a data scientist. We're going to turn a really complex field into a step-by-step journey.
You know, if you've ever looked at data science and just felt completely lost in a sea of buzzwords and crazy technologies, you're not alone. Not at all. It's a huge field. But the good news is there's a path through all that noise. And that's exactly what we're here to map out. So here's the game plan for our journey. First, we'll look at the overall map. Then we'll dive into the core tools you need. Learn how to actually speak the language of data. Then get into the fun stuff. Building machine learning models, deploying modern AI, and finally, learning how to tell a compelling story with everything you found. Okay, let's do this. Now, think of this less like a boring checklist and more like a real-deal treasure map. Every single point we're about to cover is a destination, and each one builds on the last, guiding you right to your goal. And here it is, the big picture view. These are the 7 core milestones that'll take you from zero to pro. Just look at the flow here. It makes so much sense. We kick things off with the absolute fundamentals, programming in Python and getting data with SQL. Then, we learn to actually understand that data with statistics and exploratory data analysis. Once that foundation is solid, then we get to build models, starting with classic machine learning and then leveling up to neural networks with deep learning. From there, we hit the cutting edge with generative AI, and maybe most importantly, we learn how to put it all into the real world with MLOps. See, each step is built right on top of the last one. So, first step on our map, mastering the core tools. You know, every great journey starts with getting your gear sorted. And in data science, your number one tool, your multi-purpose Swiss Army knife, is going to be Python.
Now, what's so great about this slide is how it breaks down what learning Python actually means. It's not just about syntax, right? The key, the absolute game changer, is mastering the libraries that let you wrangle data, like pandas and NumPy, and then visualize it with tools like Matplotlib and Seaborn. That's where the real power is. And you don't have to just wander around the internet trying to figure this out. The guide points us to some fantastic resources, like Krish Naik's courses to get the fundamentals down, and channels like TechTFQ for the hands-on projects that will make these skills stick. Okay, so once you've got your primary tool, you need to learn the native language of the world you're exploring. For us, that means speaking the language of data itself, and you do that with SQL, statistics, and something called exploratory data analysis, or EDA. Let's be real, data usually lives inside these gigantic databases, and SQL is the universal key to unlock them. Mastering things like joins and group by isn't just nice to have, it's non-negotiable. It's how you ask the right questions to get the raw materials you need for your work. This is such a perfect pairing. Think of it like this. Statistics gives you the formal rules, the physics of data, like probability and hypothesis testing. Then EDA is you being the detective, getting your hands dirty, cleaning up the data, exploring it, and visualizing it to find those hidden patterns and stories. And to really build up these skills, the guide lays out a super clear path. This slide just packs it all in for you. For SQL practice, you've got platforms like LeetCode. For stats, honestly, you can't go wrong with StatQuest. And for real-world EDA practice, the author himself has projects ready for you on GitHub. Okay, here we go. We've gathered our data, we understand it. Now for the part that gets everyone excited, teaching the machine to actually learn from it. This is where we dive headfirst into machine learning and its even more powerful sibling, deep learning. Before we get into all the fancy algorithms, you've got to understand the 2 main approaches here. And this slide just makes it so simple. Supervised learning, that's when you have the answers to train your model with, like a student studying with an answer key. Unsupervised learning is when you don't, and you're basically telling the model, go explore this data and find something interesting for me. The goal here is to build up your modeling toolkit. You start with the foundational stuff, like logistic regression, to really get the basics. Then you add more powerful methods, like XGBoost, for top-tier performance. But, and this is so important, you also have to learn how to tell if your models are any good. That's where these key evaluation metrics, like precision and recall, come in. Deep learning just takes everything to the next level. With neural networks, this is the tech that powers things like recognizing images with CNNs or understanding language with RNNs. Getting a handle on frameworks like TensorFlow or PyTorch is pretty much your ticket into this whole space. And once again, the guide shows us exactly where to go. For the core theory of machine learning, Andrew Ng is a legend for a reason. But for getting practical, the recommendation is clear. Jump right into projects. build your own image classifier, make a sentiment analysis tool. That's where the learning really sticks.
So building a model is one thing. That's awesome. But actually putting it into production where it can have a real impact on the world, that's a whole other ballgame. That requires mastering what's happening right now in AI, which includes generative AI and the engineering discipline of ML ops.
Generative AI is obviously the talk of the town right now. This slide breaks it down perfectly. You have to start with the foundations, like how words even get turned into numbers. Then you learn about the powerful transformer models like GPT. And then you learn the actual techniques to use them, like prompt engineering and these new frameworks like LangChain.
Now, MLOps is the thing that solves that classic problem of, well, it works on my machine. It is the absolutely critical bridge from a model in a research notebook to a real product that people can rely on. This means using tools like Docker to package your app, Fast API to serve it up, and cloud platforms like AWS SageMaker to make sure your models are robust and scalable.
And if you want to get your hands dirty with this advanced stuff, the guide points you to the industry standards. Hugging Face is the go-to place, the playground for basically everything related to NLP and generative AI. And for a really comprehensive look at the entire MLOps lifecycle, Made with ML is a fantastic resource. This brings us to the last, and you could argue the most important stop on our map, because all the technical skills in the world don't mean a thing if you can't translate them into action. You can have the best model ever, but if you can't explain its value to the people making decisions, it's just going to die in your notebook. This is the art of storytelling. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Your job as a data scientist isn't to be a data vending machine. It's to deliver insight. It's to translate all those complex findings into a clear, compelling story that makes people want to take action. So the final skill to master is framing a problem, connecting your results back to real business value, and communicating it all with tools like Power BI or Tableau. The book Storytelling with Data is a classic for a reason. And when you're ready to put all of these skills together, the guide gives you a direct link to free project ideas so you can start building out your portfolio. So there you have it. The path is laid out, the resources are there, and the steps are clear. This isn't some impossible mountain to climb anymore. It's a series of hills you can take one by one. The only question left is the one on the screen. You have the map. So where will your journey begin?